There's more.
Sunak has claimed that it would literally save the UK billions in the long run. And
wrong. Of course not. It's the exact opposite. I'll have you know. Once again, these incredibly racist initiatives, of course, are also very costly. Earlier when I said he's the billionaire fail son, he actually married in. I mean, he comes from a very wealthy family himself, but like he also married a billionaire. You don't understand, right? It's like we have less fucking black and brown people in the country in it. That's why we're doing this, because we're fucking racist, right? You don't get it. You don't fucking understand. We don't want the children to be fucking educated. We want to send the fucking black and brown people to Rwanda. Do you not fucking get it? I'm fucking racist.
Migrant to Rwanda would give 234 children an education for a year.
We might spend a lot of money to send some people back to Rwanda, but if that has the effect of
not back to Rwanda, just to Rwanda. They're not coming from Rwanda. These people are not coming from Rwanda. He said back to Rwanda because in his mind, it's like, yeah, they're fucking black and brown, right? Yeah, Africa. That's where we need to send them. Back to where they fucking came from. I don't... Lost that person now? Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean that they... What? What do you mean they lost that person? He took the money and ran. Let me find the article. Wait. What? Oh God, this is the dumbest country on the. I mean, America is the dumbest country on the planet, but like England is close second, dude. Oh Jesus Christ, that's so fucked up. Oh my God. Oh, that's awesome. Once again, something to remember. Something to remember. First, migrants sent to Rwanda with 3,000 pounds, nowhere to be found in African nation. Where is the actual article? He got his money up and not his funny up. Dude, listen to me. Listen to me, okay? The government denies losing track of likely Rwanda deportees. Most of the asylum seekers initially earmarked for deportation to Rwanda cannot be immediately located. But only 2,143 continue to report to the Home Office and can be located for detention, the documents say. No 10 said it was not accurate to say Home Office was unable to locate the others. The PM spokesman said the Home Office continues to have a wide range of tools to maintain contact with them. It's separate from the conservative government's plan to deport to Central Africa country those arriving via small boats on the English Channel. But according to the reports in the Sun, Hope Hostel, which has been cleared for migrants sent by UK, remains empty with the gates locked, with sources suggesting the man sent from the UK is lying low elsewhere in Rwanda. It'd be pretty funny if he made his way back to the UK only to take another 3K to be like, no, I'll voluntarily go back to Rwanda. What do you mean? It's an infinite money glitch, yeah? Fucking hell. He comes back with a top hat. Yeah. Something to always remember. Something to always remember. As Americans, we think British people are smart automatically, okay? Because, like, usually the way they're portrayed in American media is like, oh, if you have an accent like this, you're a nerd, you're very intelligent. We often forget that we are descendants in many ways of the British. This country is filled to the fucking brim with white Anglo-Saxon Protestants. So, of course, Americans, in their endless stupidity, are going to be just as stupid as the British.
Tory party, whose naked cruelty has been exposed yet again for all to see.
Oh, my God.
In the end, Sunak didn't...
Where's the fourth one? Sunak claims deportation plan saves the UK billions. The UK already paid Rwanda 240 million and will pay 540 million total to deport just the first 300 migrants. That's 1.8 million each. The money needed to deport one migrant under the scheme would give 234 children an education for a year. That's great. Here, let's also check in on the River Thames.
So I've just got back from my expedition and I'm down at the sewage outlet because this week Thames Water have had a number of what they call blips. That is sewage outages into the Thames and our local nature reserve. This is not the best otter footage I've had since I've been away, but it is right in the middle of one of those blips. Going down the edge here, I've seen big piles of brown slurry. There are coots and ducks swimming around inside of it. Our local neighbours have got in touch. They've said they have resolved the issue and consider it closed. Phosphate and nitrate results are off the chart. I've taken some samples which I'm sending to Bangor University to have assessed for things like E. coli.
That's just shit. He's literally just putting his hand in shit, direct shit.
And other more serious pathogens. Watch this space. This in the week when Thames Water have said they will not give any money to the suggested infrastructure boost for the water companies, that they want to increase customer fees by 40%, that they want to reduce payments that they should have to make for their own pollution, and that they want to be able to increase dividends and to get a massive bailout to boot. I would love to hear what you think about this. Please put it in the comments below because myself and my good friends at River Action are determined to do something about this.
England is turning back the clock to 1850. Bro, I'm sorry. There is nothing more English than literally taking a working active sewage structure from the Romans and Roman civil engineering, which is a genuine marvel for its time, and turning it into a grouping of people who don't know how to fucking wipe their asses properly. This is very British. This is positively British. Do you understand? It's the most English thing you can do. Remember the Sunak TikTok?
We've introduced tough new measures today to help us stop the boats. The
Yeah,
new
I do
illegal
remember.
migration bill means that if you come here illegally, you will not be able to stay. You will be detained, and then you will be swiftly removed to your own country if that's safe, or if it isn't, then a safe third country alternative like Rwanda. And we will make sure, like Australia and America, that if you've arrived here illegally, you will not ever be able to return. Now, this is how we're going to break the cycle of these criminal gangs and take control of our borders.
Bro, it's so wild that he's so happy talking about this.
People need to know that if they come here illegally, that they will be detained and swiftly removed. And once they know that, they will stop coming and we'll be able to stop the boats.
The UK courts have decided it is unlawful to send any refugees to Rwanda.
The sewage stuff is just is fallout from the Thatcher era, where everything wasn't nailed down in terms of public utilities and services were sold off to Tories and their mates. Yeah. It's cool though, man. It's actually pretty dope to privatize all of the other like government affairs normally that you're supposed to take care of. Things are certainly going to change for the better eventually. Anyway. Oh, the UK. Wonderful place.
I swim in the sea, and it's great, but it's been a bit of a brown sea recently.
You're all getting this mighty wrong. Water companies before privatization were owned by... What? By...
In fact, yeah, our seas are swimming with all of that kind of stuff. This government have been in for, what, 13 years?
He got taken out before he could finish it.
14 years. And not one thing has been improved for the better, in my own personal opinion.
A summer election announced on a day when the weather seemed a better fit for the mood of many we spoke to. We're in a town famous for bringing sunshine, because the swing needed for a Labour win in Morecambe and Lonsdale mirrors almost exactly the national numbers. Yesterday you told me about the blue, blue sky. And at the Rainbow Centre, which describes itself as a youth club for the over 50s, we got a dose of reality. An antidote, perhaps, to the Westminster frenzied election speculation at their regular Wednesday dance class.
Do you want a general election?
Well, we certainly could do with one, yes. We need one. I agree with you there. I mean, the present situation it's been just descending into a shambles gradually for some years, hasn't it? So, something needs sorting out.
Go on, you said that you need a general election.
I think we do need, yes.
Go on, why?
Yes, because everything is in a mess.
Do you think having an election will fix something?
I've no idea, because I really wouldn't know who to vote for.
Really?
To be honest, yeah. I don't know who I could trust.
It's always, we'll give you a tax cut, or we'll do this, we'll do that. But then always only ever look in the short term at what they think will just get them votes.
Those making promises take note. Trust might be the biggest issue of all in election 2024.
This is where the Prime Minister is going to speak in the next few minutes, and I'm being forcibly removed. We just simply wanted to have access tonight at Sky News, but unfortunately, we're told that because there are pool arrangements in place...
Dude. Remember England. Remember British chatters. I fucking told you. I told you. Look to America to see what your future political prospects will be. And look at your situation now. You have a feckless Labour counter to the increasingly more right-wing Tory administration. It's literally the same exact duopoly. It's the same shit with, I guess, a lack of seasoning. Not a different seasoning, but a lack of seasoning. Senior Labour figures seeking to water down. Seeking to water down plans to decriminalise abortion. MPs due to a free vote on proposal, but some in party have privately expressed concerns it goes too far. It's the same old fucking shite, different day.
We're not allowed to be here. This is, by the way, what we're trying to film is the campaign event where the Prime Minister is due to speak in the next couple of minutes. It's in front of Conservative activists. It's essentially trying to get across the message that we had in Downing Street today from the Prime Minister, talking about stability. I'm sure he's going to talk about the decision he's made. But as you can see, we just don't have access to it. It's not entirely clear why we don't have access to it. But, as I say, this was meant to be the campaign launch for the Prime Minister, for the Conservative leader, in front of party activists. in front of those loyalists who are going to support him during this campaign, who are going to go out and knock on doors, etc. The hope, of course, of the Prime Minister is this is a decision, a gamble that he's taken. So we're going to be put into an elevator here. Our bags are up here. We're probably going to have to leave at this stage because we're going to lose contact. We have to go into an elevator through security. But I will hand back to the studio and hopefully we'll come up live afterwards after you've heard the speech. The Prime Minister is due to speak in the next couple of minutes.
Extraordinary stuff, Darren. I mean, Darren, I was, throwing to you there, expecting you to be there in the live position, ready to take it away. What I was not expecting to see when I went over to you is a security guard forcibly evicting you from the conference centre. We can see there that your comms are starting to...
treating me like I'm Palestinian or something.
Go
what
down.
The fuck is
Darren,
this?
I don't know if you can still hear me, but did you get any sense of why the decision was taken?
We were told that this is an event where there's got pool cameras. We're going to have to go, so we've been forced into an elevator here, Sophie. I'll try and speak to you later.
Former president also playing cleanup yesterday.
Yeah, British politics, baby. It's really good. It's really fucking good. Here's some fun Suella Braverman antics.
Now, quite often you'll see that they don't seem particularly intent on showing their faces. I don't know if you might be able to engage with people. Hello, just wondering if you'd like to have any kind of discussion at all with Suella today? Anything?
Hi, I'm Suella. I'm keen to find out your views and what you're protesting about.
Nothing at all? No?
Interested in why you're covering your faces. Is it a COVID or a health measure? No comment.
No. Can I just ask, are you students at the university or just from around the area? Nothing? No? No, fine. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Well, what were you expecting? Did you think that maybe people might engage a little bit with you? To feel very strongly
Well,
about it?
these are supposed to be some of the brightest and the best students in the land, and taught in the art of articulating their views and expressing arguments in a coherent way. And I'm interested in hearing their arguments.
Yeah? Anyone?
Engaging and listening.
What would be your main question to some of the individuals?
I'm really keen to hear what your message is.
By the way, the British High Court found that the anti-protest legislation Suella Braverman brought in as Home Secretary last year was both unlawful and also undemocratic, and now must be scrapped. It is kind of wild that she was doing that. She was pushing for that while simultaneously also trying to talk to the fucking protesters, while giving police almost unlimited powers to crack down on any protest it deemed as causing more than a minor disturbance. This is an incredibly broad and deliberately vague definition, unsurprisingly dragged whole swaths of protesters into the criminal justice system. Hundreds of people, including Greta Thunberg, have already been arrested under this unlawful legislation, as well as several other laws introduced in the recent years, including more than 600 people last November alone. Oh no, there's more. I know. She actually did end up getting her wishes and debating a student protester and getting owned as well. Hold on, let's watch this first.
Israel.
I gotta pee.
No. Nothing.
Interested to hear your message to Hamas.
No comment. Okay.
Do you think the hostages should be released now? No.
Hey, we keep walking.
Not very.
Don't know if you would like to have a quick chat with us, sir, at all today.
Hi there.
Go on.
Very nice. I'm Suella. Can I ask you what your message is to Israel?
Yep.
Right. Can I ask you what your message is to Hamas? Silence.
Guys, anyone willing to just explain a couple of bits and bobs? What you guys are doing here, why it's so important to you, what the demands are, anything? No?
Vegan and nut fruit needed. Vegan and nut-free food.
Oh, that's what it says.
Is needed.
Right, well, there we go.
Morning, everybody. Hi, I'm Suella Braverman, MP. Here to inquire about what you're protesting about and give you an opportunity to send your message onto national television.
No? Okay, all right. Well, it's fascinating, really, because I thought that maybe they would give some form of response or reaction. But
Yeah, I
for
thought
people
they'd
who
have a
clearly
line.
feel so strongly about it.
Here's what happened when a student protester did speak.
One of my first questions that I was very keen to ask, I mean, were you at the
I haven't been at the
encampment?
Cambridge one, but other ones.
Other ones, okay. And can I ask you what your view is of the events of October the 7th? What do you think happened on October the 7th in Israel?
Well, obviously the camps haven't started because of October the 7th specifically. They're starting, I mean, this week in loads of encampments up and down the country. They've been like celebrating and having to like memorize the fact that this week commemorates the Nakba, which took place 76 years ago, which means catastrophe, which is a massive symbol of what Israel has been doing for the last 76 years. This isn't about October the 7th. And to start with that is just entirely disingenuous, I think, on your part. I really want to say that I think it's great, actually, that you went to that camp today and tried to talk to those students. And you kind of embarrassed yourself, I would say, whilst doing that, because it was a reminder for me, and I'm sure for other people watching, that actually the Palestine movement brought you down, and the Palestine movement has the potential to bring down lots of other Tory ministers and the whole Tory government, and not just the Tory government, I would say any government and any mainstream political party that is backing what Israel is doing right now, which is a genocide, and that's what people want to protest.
Do you want to come back to that?
It's so sick. It's great. Fiona Lally, National Campaigns Coordinator for the Revolutionary Communist Party. Wait, is this the same fucking Wait, what? It's not. Is it the same? Is it Baba Vakian? No, it's different. No, it's IMT. It's not the same. She's Chairman Bob's daughter, yes. No, she's not. We just made a constitution 2 months ago. It's new. The IMT renamed themselves recently to the same name as the Baba Vakian group. It's dumb. Why is your chat cheering this person on? Please remind them she's British. It doesn't matter. Remember, there's only one war, and it's class war. We are united in our struggle. And that person is just like you. That person is just like you, but in the UK. Just like you, but British. Anyway. Oh, we already covered this yesterday. It's unimaginable, but somehow, of course, classic. The U.S. House of Representatives have proposed a new bill that would extend the same taxpayer benefits to Americans serving in the IDF as those serving in the U.S. military. In general, for purposes of this chapter, to extend practicable The service of a citizen of the United States in the Israeli Defense Force shall be treated in the same manner as a service in the uniformed services. Once again, proving what I keep saying: Israel is an American state, and a cool one, like one that we do care about a lot. Now, speaking of which, let's watch the new GDF video about how Israel cucked the United States.
In July of
and let's
2000,
learn more.
A team of historians and political scientists sat down to interview Bob Gates for the George Herbert Walker Bush Oral History Project. Gates was CIA director during Bush's tenure. These were eventful years, and so the men spoke of the Soviet Union, Yugoslavia, Somalia, German reunification. A fascinating insider perspective into the first Bush White House.
An enemy to Israel.
Amid the interview, historian H. William Brands asks the old spy chief a question many were doubtless curious to know. Was there anybody that George Bush actively disliked? Shamir. Gates, of course, is referring to Yitzhak Shamir, the Israeli prime minister at the time. But I will say this: every president I worked for, at some point in his presidency, would get so pissed off at the Israelis that he couldn't speak. It didn't matter whether it was Jimmy Carter or Jerry Ford or Ronald Reagan or George Bush. Something would happen, and they would just absolutely go screw themselves right into the ceiling. They were so angry, and they'd sort of rant and rave around the Oval Office. I think it was their frustration about knowing that there was so little they could do about it, because of domestic politics and everything else that was so frustrating to them. But he did not, I think, care very much for Shamir. I'm trying to think about others, but I can't think of any others. No doubt 2 decades before Bush was even sworn in as president, Lyndon Baines Johnson was feeling just as angry and ineffectual. It was the morning of June 8, 1967. Navy Ensign John Diedrich Scott turned 24 years old. His birthday was business as usual. His crew was stationed in the Mediterranean after having traveled all the way from West Africa. It was an early morning. Just before 4 a.m., he'd get to work. Deck watch. At about the exact same time, a Nord Atlas took to the sky to begin an...
Wait. I hope nothing crazy happens to the USS Liberty. Especially not in the hands of our most significant, most important ally, which is not even an ally at all, but just a mere extension of the U.S. state.
Air reconnaissance patrol. The plane, belonging to the Israeli Air Force, was patrolling along the Mediterranean coast to detect ships beyond radar range. There was only one. It was Navy Ensign Scott's ship. On the bridge, Scott spotted the plane. He grabbed his binoculars to get a better view. A flying boxcar with a double fuselage and twin engines. Just 15 minutes before, Scott had watched the ship's American flag being pulled by the wind. Up in the cockpit of the Nord Atlas, an Israeli naval officer scanned below, serving as an aerial observer. At 5:45, the plane began reporting that the ship was a destroyer. Less than 20 minutes later, though, according to an official Israeli history, the plane reported that it was, in fact,